This is Big Leagues Country Roads Rankings.
Yoo-hoo! Welcome in to OH Report World Headquarters in Mansfield, Ohio. I am Travis Big League Berardi. That is Brian Slow Dance Skowronski. And we are here with Week 2 of the Country Roads Rankings for Divisions 3 and 4 on the boys' sides. And Brian, some really good basketball that we saw last week from teams at the top of our rankings. So let's just get into it. But we're going to start at the bottom. One team that dropped out of the rankings because of an 0-2 week, the Mapleton Mounties, dropping down to 7-6. They fall out of the rankings, meaning we have one new team in, and it's a team that really impressed me last night. The Northmore Golden Knights have made the top 10. Surprise and prize. 1-1. They lost to a tough East Knox team, but last night in a game you saw live and free right here on the OH Report, they played a complete game. 4 players in double figures. Max Lauer with a buzzer-beating shot at the end of the third quarter. A great defensive effort, too, against 2 of the top players in the KMAC. Good enough to get you guys into number 10. At number 9, the team that went 2-1 last week, 8-5 now, the Willard Flashes. They're a team that still impresses me. I know the record isn't as good as in the past years, but they have the ability to make some noise, and if they can get it together, I have a feeling they can make a run in their district tournament.
They be tested to that SBC. It's the real deal.
A team that, because so many teams did well, dropped from 4th to 8th, and that's Mohawk. They went, despite going 1-1 last week, at 10-4, so many teams that were right behind them did so well last week, it drops them down. No offense to the Mohawk fans, but just, a 2-0 week would have kept you right where you are, but even 1-1 drops you down, but you're still in the rankings. You're at number 8. Team that jumped up 1, Monroeville, 3-0 last week, now 10-2. One of those sneaky teams in the Firelands Conference that's competing right now with Western Reserve, and hey, they still got to play them one more time, so we'll see if Monroeville can knock them off and move up higher.
Firelands are going to be such a fun finish, man. Great month of basketball left in that conference.
Absolutely, and another one of those teams, South Central, they as well went 2-0 last week. They're at 11-2. They move up from 7th to 6th.
Wow.
Team that stays put, number 5, the East Knox Bulldogs. Want to know that win against Northmore? They stick at 10-3, and they're still hanging around in the KMAC with a team that you'll see here in a little bit. The biggest mover, team that really impressed me, and even a good win at Crestview last night, the Lucas Cubs.
Ooh.
They moved from 6 to 4, 3-0 last week. They're only 10-2 now, knocking off teams in their district, knocking off teams in their conference.
Yep.
They had a couple tough losses, but those are to really good teams that will only help them get prepared for their tournament run. So they move up 3-0 in the week, move up from 6th to 4th. Top 3. It's going to stay the same. At number 3, Centerburg, 1-0 last week, 12-2. That's the team that they can knock off East Knox. It's pretty much a clean slate the rest of the way to get to a KMAC championship. Number 2, Western Reserve, 2-0, 13-0. On that collision course, we hope for a matchup with number 1.
2, baby.
Because the number 1 team, once again, Colonel Crawford with 2 extremely impressive victories. They knocked off Lexington in a game that you saw from this guy's highlight. Just a great performance by the Colonel Crawford Eagles, 2-0 last week, so they stick at number 1, and we're hoping the top 2 remain undefeated to play each other in the district championship. But that's down the line. But take it away, Ski. What did you like? What didn't you like about that?
The Eagles, obviously, they got some large talents on them. They are the King Kong of the pathway here on the country road to the top of the stack. No qualms there. I know that they don't play Western Reserve in the regular season. Both of them, we think, could be undefeated heading into tournament play, but that is a long way away, so let's talk about the here and now. Centerburg and East Knox, they get an opportunity to play each other next week. I looked at both of their games. I fully expect them to hold serve between now and then just keep winning games, rack up their winning streaks until they play, so they can kind of shuffle each other out. Mohawk, as you mentioned, man, the loss wasn't a good one. They just got housed by a Ridgemont team that's really good. I think they're like 11-2 on the year, but still kind of a black eye for them when they had an opportunity to at least play competitive in that game, potentially had an opportunity to be the biggest mover and shaker, which the Cubs were. I love that. Lucas, they lock you down. Oh my gosh, those Tom's kids, they are fantastic. That sophomore and that junior. Corbin's starting to become the leader of that team, like the shake and bake that he possesses. And then spots 9 through 3 to me, Travis, it's kind of like a game of Yahtzee, I think, over the next month of the year here on the country road. What's going to happen? Anything I think can get hot and you might start chasing a straight or, 4 of a kind or 5 of a kind or whatever it might be. I feel like a lot of these teams can either play themselves into the mix or can actually play themselves off of the charts entirely. big games coming up with a lot of the teams on your top 10, and the sneaky pick for me that could play their way at least into like the top 8, 9, 7, maybe at the highest. The Crestline Bulldogs got an opportunity to see them with my own eyes, and I do think that they've got a great senior class. They've got some potential to get their way onto the list. No snub this week. I'm cool with them not being in the top 10, but I think they
went
can
1 and
work
2.
their way.
They went 1 and 2. I was looking at them to maybe take the top 10, but a 1 and 2 week against some good teams kept them out. But they do play. They got a game that we'll do a highlight for against Northmore coming up, and they have a couple other games that could get them into that top 10. But it was just tough because the top 7 teams all went undefeated. So you got to go by, which victory impressed you more, which didn't, and that's also why Mohawk dropped so far with only 1 loss, because everybody else ahead of them. Perfect.
I give you a solid A-, sir. Not a perfect list this week, like I said last week. No velvet couch for you, but maybe just a little bite of some beautiful, decadent chocolate cake.
I'll take that.
Good list.
Now I'm hungry, so I got to go eat. So that'll do it for Slow Dance Ski. I'm Big League Berardi. We'll see you down the road, the country roads.